Welcome to the Imperfectly Empowered podcast with leading DIY lifestyle blogger ahnafulmer, where women are inspired with authentic stories and practical strategies to reclaim their hearts and homes by empowering transformation, one imperfect day at a time.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Imperfectly Empowered podcast. I'm your host, ahnafulmer. Have you ever wondered if there are tips and tricks to maintaining your fitness nutrition goals while on vacation, or is it better to just let loose? Are you afraid that the months of hard work that you have put in to your fitness goals will unravel while you're on vacation? I'm here to tell you that there are strategies, there are tips and tricks to maintain your goals for losing weight, or maybe all of the work that you have put in over the last several months to have your vacation bod ready, your beach bod. And the reason that I know this is this. My husband and I, Zach and I, now we have kids, 7, 4, and 9. I did that in a really weird order. They're certainly the appropriate body fat percentage for their little ages. But specifically speaking, as adults, my husband and I are able to maintain our healthy body fat percentages and our fitness goals while on vacation. And I am going to share with you nine things that we do that I routinely communicate with my clients that help promote your fitness goals while still allowing yourself to relax and enjoy. We love vacations in our home. This upcoming summer, I think we have 7 getaways planned already, family cabin, beach, camping, to name a few. And the bottom line is we are able to maintain our goals all summer long, despite all of the schedule disruptions, not with perfection, but we are able to maintain our goals. And I am going to share with you these 9 tips. Stay tuned to the end. Hear me. Tip number 9. The last tip is the most important one. They're all really good. They're all really helpful, practical takeaways, but stay tuned to the end because it is a must tip to maintain your goals for losing weight. Okay. While on vacation, here we go. Tip number 1, enjoy your vacation treats. Enjoy vacation treats. Here's an example of realistically how this works. Last summer, I remember I came home from Costco. I was getting our vacation food ready for the beach when we went last year. And I came home and she was looking through our food through the big boxes. She go, "Mom, you are the best when it comes to vacation. You are the best when it comes to vacation." Now, she did confirm I was doing all right as a mother, even on the non-vacation days. But the idea is this: when we go on vacation, I ask each person in the family what special treat they want. What special treat they want. Do you have any guess what special treat they ask for every time? This is Zach included. I'm just going to take a pause here. Any guesses? There is one request that is most frequently asked for across the board. It is cereal. Which cereal? Let me throw that one out there. Which cereal, if you had to take a guess? Dun, 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 dun. It is Lucky Charms. Lucky Charms are hands down the most frequently requested vacation treat. Some of you are saying, we eat those every day. That would not be considered a treat. Well, this is another podcast for another time, but cereal is considered a treat in our house because if you haven't checked the labels on kids' cereals recently, they're basically like eating dessert. In truth, some bowls of cereal have as much sugar as a candy bar. Some bowls of cereal have as much sugar as a candy bar. Again, another podcast for another day, but I highly recommend you reconsider cereal in your home. In my home, I will in bulk make homemade oatmeal that is loaded with protein. I will include the recipe in the show notes, but you can make it in bulk. I also add some protein powder into it because protein is the key. We'll talk about that later. But so my kids eat baked oatmeal or instant oatmeal, and they just use a couple chocolate chips for sweetener. We don't put any sugar in our kids' instant oatmeal, and they eat it and they enjoy it. The point is this: vacations should be special. They should include experiences, including food, that are not part of our normal routine. This does not mean you should disregard every nutrition and fitness principle that is part of your day-to-day life. You want to incorporate treats with discipline, right? We're not just going to totally let loose, not all or nothing. In case you haven't figured that out yet, this is not going to be an all or nothing post, but have each person decide what treat they want and incorporate them into your vacation, while not just throwing every single principle that you've maintained at home out the window. So tip number 1, enjoy vacation treats. Figure out what your vacation treats are. Tip number 2, practice intermittent fasting with disciplined flexibility. Now, I kind of mentioned this: moderate discipline, flexibility. Again, not all or nothing. Let me be clear. Intermittent fasting, if you have never done intermittent fasting, I do not recommend you start on vacation. This is especially speaking to my clients who are already practicing intermittent fasting. For those of you who have not done my Faster Way to Fat Loss program, the link will certainly be included for those of you interested in my virtual 6-week fitness nutrition program. Or if you have no idea what intermittent fasting is, it is a schedule of when to eat that has been scientifically proven to effectively promote fat loss, preserve lean muscle mass, and improve insulin sensitivity, especially when combined with the proper nutrition and exercise regimen. In my life, as well as in my program, we practice the 16-8 method, which means we eat all of our nutrition in an 8-hour window and we fast for 16 hours. I personally maintain an eating window routinely of 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. I don't eat until 10 a.m. and I don't eat after 6 p.m. How do I balance this while on vacation? Again, if you have not practiced intermittent fasting, do not start on vacation. That is not the point of this particular tip. But if you practice intermittent fasting on a regular basis, let me give you an example of how I do this on vacation, especially if you're a client of mine. If somebody has, again, we travel with family and friends. We rarely vacation just our little family. Once in a while we do, but more often than not, we are with other people. It's the way that we love to vacation. Thankfully, we very much enjoy our family and friends. It is a blessing, not a burden. And sometimes somebody will decide to make a homemade breakfast. Listen, if they are making homemade cinnamon rolls smothered in a creamy homemade frosting, like my own cinnamon roll recipe, it is the best recipe known to mankind. It rivals Cinnabon. I will also include the link in the show notes. Then you better believe I'm not going to be skipping breakfast that day, because cinnamon rolls are a rare treat. That's going to be a vacation treat for me. Here's the difference. I'm not a proponent of slapping on the phrase, "Hey, we're on vacation." Because here's the problem, especially if you go on vacations with big families like we do. If someone brings donuts from the local gas station that aren't the cream of the crop, they went to fill up the car, brought home donuts, brought back donuts to the vacation house, I am probably going to pass, because a so-so donut for me is not worth breaking my fast just because I'm on vacation. Now, if they are the best donuts in the world that I look forward to every single time I go to this particular vacation spot, I'm going to enjoy a donut. Am I going to get one every morning? No, but I might 3 out of the 7 mornings, if I'm being honest. So just be careful. It's a not all or nothing. I maintain my fast as normal unless there is an exceptionally delicious, worthy treat to break it for. I will also tend to push my eating window back over vacation to more like 11 to 7, because again, most people don't eat dinner like we do at 5 p.m. And when we are on vacation, we're often with other people, and the setup is typically that everyone shares dinner responsibilities. So again, I'm not going to make somebody cook dinner at 5 p.m. simply so I can maintain my fasting window. I might just push it back. And disciplined flexibility. That is, again, the concept that we are chatting about here. If you normally eat breakfast, you don't practice intermittent fasting, you normally eat breakfast, then make sure to adhere to tip number 3. Tip number 3 is Plan ahead for the food that you are in control of. Plan ahead for the food that you are in control of. Whether it's a long weekend away with friends, Thanksgiving breaks with my extended family at the cabin, a week at the beach, camping with friends and family. I mentioned before, the typical food breakdown for us is that we bring our own breakfast and lunch and then take turns providing dinner for the group. This is pretty consistent among most of our getaway vacationing experiences. Again, I mentioned if you practice intermittent fasting as my clients or as Zach and I have for the last 5 years, then we typically skip breakfast. However, if you are routinely eating breakfast, and this is part of your day-to-day nutritional habits, the idea is this: plan ahead for the food that you are in control of, focusing specifically on low carb, high fiber, high protein options to set yourself up for success the rest of the day. Because empty carbs are where people get themselves into trouble. For example, if you know that night's meal is going to be a big pasta dish, or you are going to your favorite Italian restaurant as a group for dinner, be intentional during the day about limiting your carb intake and loading up on fresh vegetables and lean protein to give yourself room for all the yummy, albeit empty carbs in the evening. Boiled down, keep breakfast and lunch lean and high in protein. Eggs, protein shakes, meat, fresh vegetables. The list goes on and on. We'll talk a little bit more about that, but lean and high protein. Tip number 4, walk and bike to your destinations. Stay active is a recommendation frequently thrown out into the fitness universe, right? Move, 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 move. There's emojis, there's, stickers on every single social media channel with that idea of move it. But how does one practically apply this concept of moving? A whole nother podcast to come on this, but the idea is to be intentional about moving as much as possible in order to improve your non-exercise activity thermogenesis, in parentheses, NEAT. It is the acronym NEAT. You have maybe seen that before on other fitness websites or whatever. But to paraphrase, NEAT is the calories that you burn that are not related to exercise. The calories that you burn unrelated to exercise. Exercise being defined as that burst of time that you are dedicating solely to a workout. That is how I am defining exercise. For some of you, that might just be a brisk speed walk. Maybe that is exercise for you. For some of us, that may be a very intentional, high intensity, training workout for 30 minutes. It could be a run. It could be weightlifting. That's how I'm defining exercise, a period of time that is specifically designated for working out. That is exercise activity thermogenesis, the calories required during intentional exercise. Non-exercise activity thermogenesis is the movement, the calories burned by your day-to-day movement that I'm specifically addressing here. This is why we want you to move. Or how you calculate with steps being a big thing where you get one of those fitness trackers and you see your steps. That is ultimately what we're talking about here. NEAT, non-exercise activity thermogenesis. A whole nother podcast is coming soon. I'm going to chat about all kinds of ways, sneaky ways to burn extra calories without even thinking about it that aren't exercise related. And this is what we're going to talk about. Non-exercise activity thermogenesis, your day-to-day movement. How can we apply this on vacation? Well, there's several examples. I will give examples for ourselves. These are things that we personally do. Not all the time, depending on where we're going, et cetera, and the vacation that we're on. For example, let's say you want to go out to eat at night. Depending on where you're vacationing, there could be dozens of restaurants, even within walking distance of where you are, depending on where you have vacationed. Consider going to a restaurant that is within walking distance, or consider renting bikes for the week and biking to dinner as a family. Zach and I did this when we went to Hawaii. We chose not to rent a car. We rented bikes and we biked everywhere. Depending on the age of your kids, there's options here. You can do the bike seats. You can do the little bike strollers where you actually it's like a little cart that sort of attaches to your bike, depending on the ages. And consider biking places. If you need to run to the grocery store, again, consider taking your bike, hanging the bags on the handlebars. I have done this many times at the beach. I take a bike and I put the bags on the handlebars or wear a large backpack. Remember those little strollers that I talked about that basically attach to the back of the bike? You can put a ton of grocery bags in those things. All right. Walk to a park. Let's say that you're wanting to sightsee, you're wanting to visit wherever it is. Consider walking there. Instead of a sightseeing tour bus ride, consider finding a biking tour. A lot of places actually have these, believe it or not. Most places that have tour guide options will also have a biking option. You might have to search a little bit harder for it, but consider doing a bike tour instead. Again, a lot of this depends on the kind of vacation that you are on. There's so many other tips and tricks to improving your non-exercise activity thermogenesis, or I should say increasing your non-exercise activity thermogenesis. But the bottom line is, when able, choose to use your body to get to a destination as opposed to automotive transportation. Tip number 5, limit caloric drinks, including alcohol. Limit caloric drinks, including alcohol. As many of you already know, I have personally never been able to stomach the taste of alcohol. It does not get past that little dangly thing in the back of my mouth. That is the technical term, medical term for it, of course. So alcohol is easy for me to pass up because I genuinely cannot stand the taste of it. However, for some of you, I understand that alcohol is part of the treat concept to vacationing. It's part of your relaxation, part of the indulgence that you allow while on vacation. But understand, for the most part, alcohol is basically empty carbs. For the most part, there are many, many forms of alcohol. I am generalizing here, as it certainly depends on the type of alcohol being consumed. But the point is, limit your intake. Your gut will thank you too. Soda and juice. Juice is one of those misleading. I feel like I could do an entire podcast on just drinks alone. Juice is one of the most misleading nutritional principles out there. That was really poorly worded, but juice looks healthy. It's bright. It's made out of fruit. There's often marketing schemes around juice that make it look very healthy. It'll say something like 100% natural, no added sugar. But you guys, fruit is sugar. Fruit has tons of sugar in it. Now, it is natural sugar, yes. So if you're talking about picking up a candy bar versus eating fruit, understand fruit is going to be preferable every time. But juice, even all natural fruit juice, is still loaded with sugar. Juice should be a treat. Juice should be a treat. If you have young kids, they should not be routinely drinking juice. It is misleading. The industry has misled parents and children and grandparents alike by making people think that juice is actually healthy. All things in moderation, but the point is, juice for the most part is not worth the added sugar to the diet. When you're on vacation, a simple way of maintaining your goals is to be very, very careful with soda. Y'all know that I feel like soda should just be a no. X-nay, it should go, whether it's diet or not. I am not a fan of soda in really any form, and juice should be enjoyed sparingly in day-to-day life. But this also includes vacation. Watch your caloric juice intake. Bottom line, you have to decide, would you rather eat your carbs or drink them? I, for one, would rather eat my carbs in the form of a delicious dessert. Actually, the only alcohol I like is in the form of tiramisu. Let's just come full circle here. That's about the only form of alcohol I will consume, and I love tiramisu. So I would personally rather have that piece of tiramisu than a soda or juice. Our family drinks water and flavored seltzer waters, LaCroix being our go-to brand. Not all seltzer waters are created equal. Another story for another time. I shared that on a different podcast where I talked about counting calories versus tracking macros. Check that one out. I talk about my seltzer water journey. It's rough, people. It's rough, but hey, you find the right brand and you can get used to it. Now it's all we drink. Tip number 6, moving on. I digress. Tip number 6, protein, protein, protein. Protein. I'll say it a fourth time for good measure. The easiest way to promote nutritional moderation on vacation, maintain your goals for losing weight or the goals that you had already accomplished. Protein is the key. Limit empty carb intake during the day by prioritizing fresh vegetables and lots of protein. This gives you more wiggle room to fully enjoy that carb-loaded meal at night. If you want some examples of protein, especially looking for those lean protein options, you definitely want to check out that podcast that I just mentioned or go onto my blog and search for macro cheat sheets or macro food lists, or you can type in macronutrients because there are lists of protein options. There's actually a list of everything, fat, carbs, and proteins. But there's a list that you can print out chock full of protein-rich food ideas and get creative about ways to incorporate them into your vacation meal plan during the day. A couple of examples. My go-tos include wrapping spinach and a mozzarella cheese stick in turkey slices. That's pretty much completely low carb. Greek yogurt, beef jerky, pre-made protein shakes. Meatballs are a great protein option. You cook them in bulk, stick them in the fridge, and you can stick them in little lunch bags, depending on if you're going out to the beach or whatever. Pre-cooked grilled chicken strips, almonds, peanut butter, protein, protein, protein during the day. Or whenever your big meal is, right? Maybe your massive meal is going to be at lunchtime. You see what I'm saying here? Buffer your main meal with these lean protein options. This leads into number 7. Have vegetables readily available for easy snacking. Let me add something here. Have vegetables that you like readily available for easy snacking. If carrots are the only vegetable that you like, then have carrots readily available for easy snacking. I'll hear somebody say, "Oh, I don't like vegetables." And I'll go through the whole list. Do you like anything on this list? Well, yeah, I like peppers. Then have peppers readily available for easy snacking. I don't know about you, but one of the greatest challenges to eating more vegetables, the fact is that it takes time to prep them. Let's just be real. I love salads, but just the thought of prepping one makes me tired. I know it's pathetic, but hey, hashtag mom life be like, you know what I'm saying? Prepping salads is a lot of work. Having vegetables readily available for easy snacking while on vacation, certainly at home as well, but we're talking about vacation here, is an easy way to help curb the consumption of empty carbs. Examples, I'm actually trying to think right now through some examples that we typically use. So a lot of times we'll get stuff in mini sizes, the little mini baby cucumbers, as opposed to the massive ones. Costco has this big bag of baby cucumbers that are perfect for snacking. Cherry tomatoes are a great example. Snack size peppers, baby carrots, because there's no slicing and dicing involved, right? You just take a handful, throw them into a sandwich bag, and you've got stuff readily available for snacking. For an extra tip, consider bringing snack size guacamole or hummus packs to dip those veggies into. Zach prefers the hummus. I prefer the guac. We like both of them, but they are a great lower carb, higher nutrient density option to keep you full until that big meal, and they're snack size. Tip number 8, play active games. This is a similar concept to tip number 4, but choose active pursuits with your family and friends. I'll be honest, this is one that we do not have to work too hard at. I grew up doing stuff. I know that sounds silly, but going to the beach, I didn't even understand that there were beaches where you couldn't bring balls or frisbees to, that all you were allowed to do is just lay out. And I'll tell you this quick story. My girlfriends laugh every time, but we took this girls' getaway to Florida, and I don't remember the beach we were at. This is not to criticize this particular beach, but the three of us, this was post-college, and we come up to this beach and there's a sign that has this list of rules. And the bottom line is you couldn't throw any balls. You couldn't throw a frisbee. I don't even think you could surf at this beach. And I was like, what is the point? What are you supposed to do? And my girlfriends were like, Anna, you lay out and you read, or you listen to music, or you talk. And I'm like, what? This is not why I go to the beach. So the bottom line is I grew up very active at the beach. My husband is the same way. When our family's at the beach, you will see spike ball. You will see can jam. All of the yard games get brought to the beach. No matter where we are, you will find us moving, throwing a football, tossing a frisbee. Like I said, all the yard games, can jam, spike ball. We will find tennis courts and we will walk or run there. If they're far enough, then we will, ride bikes or we will drive there. My father-in-law got a pickleball, a traveling pickleball setup. And now it's the thing that when we go on beach vacations, we specifically look for a house that we can set up pickleball in the driveway. Or when my family went 2 years ago now, my parents and my in-laws, we all shared a house together for a week. It was amazing. And we played pickleball in the parking lot across the street from us. Bottom line, find something that you like to do as a family that is active. Create new memories if you have to. Maybe you didn't grow up that way. There's never a better time to start than now. Find something that you can bring with you and be active. Play active games as a family. Make new memories. And I'll tell you what, they will become some of the most special memories for yourself and for your kids. So if you didn't grow up that way, it's a great time to start. Find something that you all enjoy. Stay active. Tip number 9. This is the best tip that I can possibly give you. I have saved the best for last. Maybe I should have put it first. Tip number 9. Keep the right perspective and stay off of the freaking scale. Pardon my language. This is the most important tip. And here is what I want you to understand. You do not gain body fat in 1 week. I have said this to clients so many times. You cannot physiologically undo months of fat loss and metabolic change in 1 week, despite what a scale may say. Again, if you're new around here, understand I hold no stock in tracking body weight. There is a podcast coming on this. Lots of podcasts coming. Y'all stick around. Lots of good stuff coming. I hold no stock in tracking body weight as a means of reflecting one's health and wellness. I'm all about body fat percentage. More to come on how to calculate that at home, etc. But people ditch the scale. Do not come home from vacation and weigh yourself. Please. God forbid you weigh yourself while on vacation. Stop it. Stop. You cannot gain body fat percentage in 1 week. You might retain water because you're somewhere hot. Maybe you're not drinking as much as you normally do. Water. Stay off the scale. A number on the scale is merely a reflection of your relationship with gravity and not an accurate indication of disease risk or overall health. Ditch the scale. If you're too anxious and you don't want to wait for the podcast coming out, you can take a look on my blog where I teach you how to calculate body fat percentage, the importance of tracking body fat percentage as opposed to body weight. But let me just tell you, as a nurse practitioner with 20 letters behind my name, sounds outrageous, but it's true. You need to trust me when I say this is a much more beneficial number to measure from a health and wellness standpoint than the arbitrary, irrelevant number on a scale. The point is this: for most bodies, it is going to take more like 4 weeks to see a significant change in body fat percentage. The only way you are going to mess up months of hard work on one vacation is if you mentally believe that you have. And I'm telling you right now, you haven't. Enjoy your vacation in moderation and then discipline yourself to bounce back. Fight the all or nothing mentality with that disciplined flexibility that shows grace for a week of fun, but is without excuses come the following week when you get back home. I really hope one of these tips is especially helpful to maintaining your goals for losing weight or to maintaining your fitness goals in general. It is possible to enjoy a fit, healthy vacation while still giving yourself a chance to relax and enjoy those special treats. If one of these tips especially resonates with you, or if you have more tips, please drop them in the comments below. I would love, love, love to hear them. I might have to do another podcast incorporating your tips into it, and tell me what has resonated with you. And I will see you here next time. Hey guys, Anna here. If you found this video helpful, then you do not want to miss this video right here beside me on the screen. Click on it. I know you're going to enjoy it. You guys, remember, you cannot be redefined, only redeveloped, one imperfect day at a time. Your story matters, and you are loved.